Good morning, good morning, good morning, chat. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning.
Tier 3 sub. Damn, you bloody legend.
So evil.
45 months?
Darth
That is
Dragon.
almost a year.
Harper, hello. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. What's up, Chris? Hello, Darth. Ozzy Mazzy. Harper, Chris. Again. Dad Gaming, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. How you all doing? She's in about now. Bonjour, brother. Vitty, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's an old it's an old day. It's a Tuesday. It's a Tuesday. Rogi, good morning. Jim Dar, good morning.
5 bloody gifted subs.
Matty, good morning.
Thank you so much.
Sue out with a 5 gifted. My man. With a 5 bloody gifted subs. Got a shovel snow today. It's only a bit of snow, what do you mean? Craig Davey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. And the train has arrived. The train always arrives. It always arrives early. Darth, thank you for the 45 months, by the way. That is almost a year. True.
Force detected.
True.
Raid defenses.
Demon with the raid. Good morning, sir. Good morning. Good morning. Here we go again. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Right. First things first, we need to have a look at the Nvidia stuff, right? Have we got a video on that? IGN will have a video. IGN, they do. Nvidia GeForce RTX 50 series Blackwell announcement. Oh, spicy. I want to know the tech they're going to bring in with it. I want to know the tech. I haven't seen a video. Yeah, I'm going to pull the video up now. I'm expecting these cards to be very AI based. Maybe Dlss 4.0. Yeah, it's got to be a Dlss 4.0 for sure. 100%. Fred Nick today, hello, good morning. Good morning. Right, let's bring the music down real quick, and then
GPUs, GeForce, in a lot of ways, all of this with AI is the house that GeForce built. GeForce enabled AI.
Is it me, or does his jacket get shinier the more money he gets? Anybody knows
to reach the masses. And now, AI is coming home to GeForce.
Oh, I thought it would.
There are so many things that you can't do without AI. Let me show you some of it now.
So they are bringing AI to the what's it called? Holy moly. Dlss 4.0. Holy moly. Dun, 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 dun. Jesus. You can't really go off this though, can we? You know? Oh god, it's scary faces. Scary faces.
All of this with AI is the house that GeForce built. GeForce enabled AI to reach the masses.
Okay.
And now, AI is coming home to GeForce. There are so many things that you can't do without AI. Let me show you some of it now.
I'm just hoping the card's smaller. As well. Did I go back? By accident?
That was real-time computer graphics. No computer graphics researcher, no computer scientist would have told you that it is possible for us to ray trace every single pixel at this point. Ray tracing is a simulation of light. The amount of geometry that you saw was absolutely insane. It would have been impossible without artificial intelligence. There are two fundamental things that we did. We used, of course, programmable shading and ray traced acceleration to produce incredibly beautiful pixels. But then we have artificial intelligence be conditioned, be controlled by that pixel.
How many
to generate
frames ahead?
A whole bunch of other pixels.
How many frames ahead, though?
Not only is it able to generate other pixels spatially, because it's aware of what the colors should be. It has been trained on a supercomputer back in Nvidia, and so the neural network that's running on the GPU can infer and predict the pixels that we did not render. Not only can we do that, it's called DLSS. The latest generation of DLSS also generates beyond frames. It can predict the future.
3-4 frames per head?
3 additional frames for every frame that we calculate. What you saw, if we just said 4 frames of what you saw, because we're going to render 1 frame and generate 3. If I said 4 frames at full HD, 4K, that's 33 million pixels or so. Out of that 33 million pixels, we computed only 2.
Huh.
It is an absolute miracle that we can computationally, using programmable shaders and our ray tracing engine, to compute 2 million pixels and have AI predict all of the other 33. And as a result, we're able to render at incredibly high performance because AI does a lot less computation. It takes, of course, an enormous amount of training to produce that, but once you train it, the generation is extremely efficient. So this is one of the incredible capabilities of artificial intelligence, and that's why there's so many amazing things that are happening. We used GeForce to enable artificial intelligence, and now artificial intelligence is revolutionizing GeForce. Everyone, today we're announcing
4 new
next
cards.
Generation.
5090, 5080, 5070, and
Blackwell family. Let's take a look.
5070 Ti. And then 5060 and 5060 Ti will come out in months. 2 fans. Wait, is that a 2-slot card? It's 2 slots? Not 3?
Here it is. Our
Oh shit, it
brand new
is.
GeForce RTX
It's smaller.
50 series Blackwell architecture. The GPU is just a beast. 92 billion transistors, 4,000 TOPS, 4 petaflops of AI, 3 times higher than the last generation Ada. And we need all of it to generate those pixels that I showed you.
Is that the 5090 he's got in his
380
hand?
ray tracing teraflops, so that we could, for the pixels that
I
we
think
have
it's
to
the. I
compute,
think it might be the
compute
5090.
most
It
beautiful
wouldn't surprise me.
image
It has to be the
possibly
5090,
can.
right?
And of course, 125 shader teraflops. There's actually a concurrent shader teraflops as well as an integer unit.
DDR7.
Equal performance. So 2 dual shaders. One is for floating point. One is for integer. G7 memory from
Wait.
Micron. 1.
4,000 AI teraflops. That's 2 times more than the 4090, right?
8 terabytes per second, twice the performance of our last generation. And we now have the ability to intermix AI workloads with computer graphics workloads. And one of the amazing things about this generation is the programmable shader is also able to now process neural networks. So the shader is able to carry these neural networks, and as a result, we invented neural texture compression and neural material shading. As a result of
That's
that,
a $2,000 card right there.
amazingly beautiful
The 5090,
images
gotta be.
that are only possible because we use AIs to learn the texture, learn the compression algorithm, and as a result, get extraordinary results. Okay, so this is
They're probably all going to
this
start
is
from like 1,000
the
upwards.
brand new RTX
I'll be surprised if not.
Blackwell 5090.
That is the 5090 then.
Now, even the mechanical design is a miracle. Look at this, it's got 2 fans. This whole graphics card is just one giant fan. You know, so the question is, where's the
big
graphics
fan.
card? Is it literally this big?
It is a lot smaller.
The voltage regulated design is state-of-the-art, incredible design. The engineering team did a great job. So here it is. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so those are the speeds and feeds, so how does it compare?
Mm,
Well,
the good stuff.
this is RTX 4090. I know many of you have one.
I do.
I know it. Look, it's $1,599. It is one of the best investments you could possibly make.
Yeah, I bought my first
For
one.
$1,599,
Way
you
too
bring
high.
it home to your $10,000 PC entertainment command center. Isn't that right? Don't tell me that's not true. Don't be ashamed. It's liquid cooled, fancy lights all over it. You lock it when you leave. It's the modern home theater. It makes perfect sense. And now for $1,500 and $1,599, you get to upgrade that and turbocharge the living daylights out of it. Well, now with the Blackwell family, RTX 5070,
Huh?
4090 performance at $549.
What?
Impossible without artificial intelligence. Impossible without the 4 teraops of
Yeah, this is a
AI
5070, yeah.
tensor cores. Impossible without the G7 memories. Okay, so 5070, 4090 performance, $549, and here's the whole family. Starting from 5070 all the way up to 50.
Oh shit. Whoa. $1,000 for the... Damn. Yo, they went cheaper than I thought they were going to. But obviously the prices will get raised due, you know.
5090,
We kind of know that.
5090, twice the
Right.
performance of a 4090.
I think most consumers are going to go for the 5070 Ti and 5070. Majority of people will get 5080s. Idiots will get 5090s. And I'm an idiot.
starting, of course, we're producing at very large scale,
You're an
availability
idiot, you are.
starting January. Well, it is incredible, but we managed to put these in gigantic performance.
Yeah, I feel sorry for anyone that has recently got like new cards and whatnot. Yeah.
GPUs.
The 5060, I think the 5060 and 5060 Ti will more than likely come out in a couple of months.
Into a laptop. This is a 5070 laptop. For $1299, this 5070 laptop has a 4090 performance. I think there's one here.
He says 4090 performance, but that will be with frame generation and DLSS or something, right? It won't be the same as a 4090 performance, raw performance. It won't be. It can't be. It can't be.
So can you imagine? You got this incredible graphics card here, Blackwell. We're going to shrink it and put it in there. Does that make any sense? Well,
I think, yeah, if you're on a 20 series or a 30 series card, highly recommend going to a 5070 or a 5070 Ti. Go for one of these for sure. This is the one you kind of want to go for. You know? But these are the ones you're going to want to go for sure.
of course, we're producing.
That's pretty insane, though. I wasn't expecting the 3 to be so cheap. I was expecting maybe starting from 800, maybe 1,000. So like now I'm debating, do I go with do I go with the... I more than likely will. I'll probably go with a 5090 in the gaming PC. What I want to see is I want to see the tech reviewers. I want to see what they think of them. Because obviously this is Nvidia's marketing, right? I want to see the tech reviewers. I want to see what they say. Has anybody released anything on it yet? I know I want 2 other 5090s, but I know I don't need it. Owning 2 4090s, I know I don't need a 4090 in the PC.
Nvidia today announced its RTX 50 series Blackwell GPUs, the Blackwell architecture now coming to consumer products, but it also had an additional important announcement.
Do you like my jacket? I thought I'd go the other way from Gary Shapiro. I'm in Las Vegas after all. If this doesn't work out, if all of you object, well, just get used to it. I really think you have to let this sink in. In another hour or so, you're going to feel good about it.
Well, at least we got that out of our system, so now we can continue on without a hitch to the news.
What the hell? Jesus, how many is that? That's like 60 to 70 plus GPUs right there. Holy moly. This is for data centers, right?
Wait for it. Wait for it. I thought I was worthy.
It wouldn't be CES without that. So, Nvidia today announced that its RTX Blackwell series will have, at least at the start, a 5090 priced at $2,000, a 5080 priced at $1,000, a 5070 Ti at $750, and an RTX 5070 at $550. We don't have the full specs for these
Have
right
they announced
now.
when they go on sale?
Reserve most of the
End of the month,
until
maybe?
we know what they actually are, especially because Nvidia historically has kind of shuffled the stack a little bit where it's not always 100% clear generationally if the name might mean the same thing or not. So we'll look at
January
that as we get
30th.
into reviews. But Nvidia claims that its RTX 5070 notably has, quote, 4090 performance at $549, which is definitely something worth inspecting. Now, they also stated in that same sort of sentence that this is, quote, impossible without AI, and also stated it is, quote, impossible without GDDR7, which Nvidia is moving to for the newly announced video cards in this lineup. There's a lot more too, so let's get into the news. Before that, this video is brought to you by Thermal Grizzly's Aeronaut and Hydronaut thermal pastes. Aeronaut is thermal. You can get into some of the pricing discussion a little more towards the end of this, because that's obviously something that everyone's thinking about. All right, so Nvidia announced its Blackwell GPUs that'll arrive to the consumer market in January.
These, them prices are easily going to be 2,800 at least when people get hold of them. This would be like 1,600.
GPUs that'll arrive to the consumer market in January. The GPU, presumably the full Blackwell die that was detailed, was noted as a 92 billion transistor solution as compared to the RTX 4090's approximate 76 billion transistors. Notably, the card CEO Jensen Huang showed off at the event appeared to be a 2-slot card, which he noted has 2 fans. This is a stark contrast to the huge prototype NVIDIA cooler that we just tore down. I have that right here. It's coming to the channel soon. And this is actually really relevant. I was kind of shocked at this because this was totally separate content piece we're working on. You'll see this very soon. It's actually kind of an amazing cooler. Insane assembly. Anyway, this is a separate video. The point is, I think they took some learnings from this, even though it is massive, and applied it to what they were showing off on stage today. And we'll kind of come back to that board. So the 2-slot card that Jensen Huang showed off is a big swing from the 3-slot and 4-slot coolers we've become used to, which have been necessary for thermal and for power management. Nvidia also posted some hard specs to its website. We can start with the power, which is listed as 575 watts total graphics power for the 5090. It's an interesting thing to leave out of the keynote. We have a whole separate video on 12-volt high power and how
why did we skip that,
has been a complete dumpster fire. It's a deep dive. You should check it out if you haven't seen it. It's an hour on a cable specification, and people really liked it. Interesting times we live in. But our concern here is we think that's just too close to the limits already for, I mean, it's a difference of the 4090s typically run at about 450 watts without some kind of overclock. And with an overclock at like 600, you get a hit 660. It really depends on how it's configured and how you count transients. But 575 concerns us a bit. We'll keep an eye on it, obviously. We're wondering also if they maybe did some of this redesign of the cooler to try and direct some of that airflow over the cable specifically to help deal with that extra heat. So anyway, that was one of the more concerning points we saw. The RTX 5090 Blackwell GPU is listed as having 21,760 CUDA cores, memory at 32 gigabytes of GDDR7, clocks at 2.41 gigahertz boost and 2.01 gigahertz base, a large 512-bit memory interface width, and NVIDIA has iterated its Tensor Core generation to 5 and its RT Core generation to 4 for Blackwell, though we don't yet have architectural details on the consumer side as to what specifically that means. We expect those details pretty soon. The FE card is listed as 304 millimeters by 137 millimeters for dimensions, and then that is the 2-slot card. Jumping over to the prior RTX 4090 for reference, the 4090 has 16,384 CUDA cores, so that's notably different from the 21,760 of the 5090.
That's crazy.
Listed as 304 millimeters by 137 millimeters for dimensions, and then that is the 2-slot card. Jumping over to the prior RTX 4090 for reference, the 4090 has 16,384 CUDA cores, so that's notably different from the 21,760 of the 5090, but cores can't be compared linearly, especially cross-generation, so the real-world impact will be more difficult to track, and we'll just have to test it. The 4090 also ran 24 gigabytes of GDDR6X, rather than the 32 gigabytes of GDDR7 on the 5090. The 4090's clocks are higher as advertised on NVIDIA's webpage at 2.52 gigahertz boost and 2.23 base. Of course, this changes based on the partner, but clocks like core count.
Actual 4K game. 4K gaming is available now. Like with the 4090.
Is not everything. Zooming out to look at memory capacity, we see the 5090 at 32 gigabytes.
Oh, here we go. So this is what I mean. This isn't come really stacking up to the 5070. You're more leaning to the Ti and the 5080. That's crazy though.
5080 at
Look at
16,
that. It's just
the
like
5070 Ti at 16.
GDR 40 series was a GDR6X.
And the 5070 at 12 gigabytes. For perspective, the 4070 is also 12 gigabytes. The 4070 Ti is 12 gigabytes.
To be honest, the memory configuration doesn't really matter. Not as much these days.
The 4070 Ti Super is 16 gigabytes.
Especially 16
and the
gigs.
4080 is
16 gigs
gigabytes.
is still really good.
Going to a fuller look at the specs, the 5080 is listed at 10,752 CUDA cores, which is slightly more than the 4080's 9,728, and not the same huge change we see with the 4090 to the 5090. The 5070 Ti lists 8,960 against 7,680 on the 4070 Ti, and the 5070 lists 6,144, up from 5,888 on the 4070 configuration. Now again, these aren't directly comparable, they are cross-generation, but it helps us to understand what NVIDIA thinks in terms of its product positioning in the stack, and it helps us get an idea for, are they shifting it again and moving some things down and some things up. Interesting here to see too, the gap between the 4090 and 5090 being seemingly, at least on paper, one of the larger, if not the largest gaps out of this entire family so far, where we kind of saw that with the 4090 versus 4080, where the difference between them was abnormal compared to years prior, generations past, where you just wouldn't get gains that big from the flagship to the next step down. It was not always like that. That was kind of a pretty new thing with the 40 series. As for the rest, the full specs page shows a 2.62 gigahertz max boost on the 5080, 2.45 gigahertz on the 5070 Ti, 2.51 on the 5070, and then we already said the 5090 has a larger memory bus. As for the
Jeez!
the others, the 5080 and 5070 Ti both run a 256-bit bus, with the 5070 at 192 bits. Other than the 575 watts of the 5090, NVIDIA lists the other cards at 360 watts, 300 watts, and 250 watts of total board power. Broadly speaking, NVIDIA's power consumption appears to be increasing. On the very least, this is timed well with our efficiency testing, so it is possible for power consumption to go up, but efficiency to also improve. It depends on the output. That's part of
Hey, you guys heard of Twitch Prime? Have you heard of Prime?
the equation for efficiency, so we're definitely going to be continuing to run those tests. Next one, so
Hey,
we of course
freaking
will have our own benchmarks to go through soon, and so will all the other reviewers. We'd always encourage you to check out a review from a third party, whether or not it's us, doesn't matter, but just someone who's a third party to get numbers you can trust. But it still helps to reference first-party claims to get an idea for where they are setting the expectation. So let's look at some of those. NVIDIA's webpage has a relative performance chart that's pretty hard to actually read, but we could try to get an idea. NVIDIA claims the 5090 outperforms the 4090 by over 2x in some situations, such as Cyberpunk and Black Myth, among others. In these tests, they list DLSS plus full RT as the settings. The footnote, that's nearly the same color as the page background, says that the 40 series used frame generation in this testing, but the 50 series used MFG 4X mode. This makes the comparison not like for like. We consider this approach flawed, but we'll look at their other claims for full perspective. Switching to the 5080, NVIDIA shows its performance as outperforming the 4080 by, again, sometimes 2x. This is tough to filter, though, with the differing settings tested. The 5070 Ti shows much the same sort of visualization against the 4070 Ti.
The random dice.
The 5070 against the 4070, again,
there's a sponsor thing he's been doing.
Of all of these tests, the Plague Tale comparison is maybe the most fair, since NVIDIA notes that it only has DLSS 3. As for what DLSS 4 actually is, we have not had enough time to really thoroughly read through this, but we have some pieces where NVIDIA launched a new blog post to introduce its multi-frame generation, or MFG. The post reads this, quote, DLSS multi-frame generation generates up to 3 additional frames per traditionally rendered frame, working in unison with the complete suite of DLSS technologies to multiply frame rates by up to 8x over traditional, they call it brute force rendering. The page continues to say, quote, our new frame generation AI model is 40% faster, uses 30% less VRAM, and only needs to run once per rendered frame to generate multiple frames. For example, in Warhammer 40K Darktide, this model provided a 10% faster frame rate while using 400 megabytes less memory at 4K. Max settings using DLSS frame generation, end quote. Now this section of the article is also interesting. It indicates that you'll be able to override the DLSS model used in games that don't get updates from devs, which is already possible to be done manually by some users who replace DLL files. But this new approach looks like it'll be more user-friendly. NVIDIA stated that its Blackwell GPUs will have 2x the memory bandwidth of Ada at 1.8 terabytes per second for the cited spec. This will likely change depending on which model you look at, but we need the full specs for everything. It claims 2x the RT teraflops and 1.5 times the Ada shader performance. The PCB showcased was a relatively small square, like a further cut down version of the 4090 FE PCB if you were to chop the wings off. It appears to be sandwiched between 2 full flow-through fans. And that, again, is where we think they're getting the learnings from this prototype cooler that we're not supposed to have. Because this is a full flow through. So there's no PCB in the way, which is why it's so thick, because they shove it in at the bottom. And that actually enables the performance that it gets. And so they're moving to full flow through, sort of, except with that square PCB right in the middle. The design in their explosion diagram illustrates the PCB centrally with densely populated components on both sides of the board. The cooler also utilizes a vapor chamber cooling solution with what appears to be 5 heat pipes, assuming the render's accurate. The GPU directly contacts the vapor chamber, as you'd expect, with the flow-through area handling the flanking heat sinks. So on the cooling side for the Founders Edition board from NVIDIA, this is a massive change. In the 20 series, they had a solid wall that they blew the air into, as has sort of been the main approach to cooling, and those coolers were not particular, they weren't really good. The 900 and the 10 series, the reference designs that NVIDIA did were awful compared to the partners. And then in the 30 series, they started to get kind of scary competitive for partners, and then 40 continued that. And this is actually a further continuation of that, this one I have in front of me. So we're very curious to see how this goes, because it's interesting where if the partners can adapt to this and introduce it and it's actually effective, then great. We get skinnier video cards again. That's going to come down to cost to manufacture it, of course. But also it does mean that the partners face competition from their supplier, which has always been a concern as companies like NVIDIA push further into their own reference and FE models now. This last section we're not going to spend much time on, but they talked about AI on GeForce a bit and noted some new solutions for gaming specifically. Again, all related to the best buzzword ever invented for shareholders. So they talked about RTX neural material and showed an example of reducing the material size from 47 megabytes to 16 megabytes with the solution. And then they also had some DLSS showcases in a quick slide. NVIDIA's keynote was lengthy, as it typically is. It covered a lot of topics outside of our direct area of focus. That's industry and everything else that we don't really cover. For now, we're just focusing on getting these basics out to you for the video cards, and then we'll revisit all. How
long was the whole NVIDIA
as we get
conference?
More depth from the company and our
2-3 hours
information and just the ability to test the products. As for release dates, NVIDIA cited January in its keynote, but its website lists January 30th specifically for the 5090 and 5080, and it says 5070 Ti and 5070 cards will arrive in February. So overall, that covers most of the announcement. This this day has been crazy. It started with a bunch of keynotes for other stuff. We went through AMD's and then through Nvidia's, and we're flying soon to do some other stuff. I don't know when we can talk about it. It's related to all this other activity. So,
cool beans. Crazy things, Chatterinos. Crazy, crazy things. Oh! We said that earlier on Flex when he first started. Prepared some fried rice as breakfast. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. What was I doing? Oh, I was bringing in the coal and the sulfur, wasn't I? I was grabbing the coal and sulfur. Will the partners come out with their versions at the same time? Not usually. Not usually. It's usually like a month later normally, isn't it? You'll get some partners that will kind of release it and just kind of push it without doing like crazy testing on the what's it called? Yeah, it's usually a maximum of a month later. But you'll be extremely lucky if you can get one straight away. Most retailers usually limit the person to one sale, but scalpers be scalpers. Doc Thumper, good morning. How many fuel gens upon for this rocket pod? None. No fuel gens. Well, that's the plan at the minute. It might change. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, people are still going to be holding on to the 40 series cards. If for those people who wanted to go to a 5090, you probably won't be getting one until maybe mid 2025. Maybe Q4. Just depends on how hard you want to go for one. The only reason I'm advising people to kind of go for maybe 40 series card, or even like the low 50 series card, is just because how fast Unreal Engine 5 is changing games right now. Yeah, 100%, see what? 100%. That's why, like, the 5070 is not a bad price, you know? Pretty decent price. But I tell you what, though, them 50 series cards combined with the 9800X 3D chip, that's just gonna be that's gonna be crazy. Because, like, to be honest, like, the 9800X 3D chip is not that crazy expensive compared to, like, some of its competitive, right? And even the 9950X is still more dearer than the 3D chip. For more VRAM though, it's more CPU bound. Instant scrap. Or radio control system. I don't want to go instant scrap. I'm gonna do a quick reroll on this. Oh. So like, I will eventually get a 5090 one. I'm not in no rush to kind of get it though. If the opportunity arises where I know it's available and I can like, oh, I'll get it. But I'm not gonna be in a crazy rush to get one because right now I know a lot of the games. I think the real true test will be GTA 6 and The Witcher. I think they're going to be the real new test for the GPUs. So, James Hudson, how you doing, man? Do you know something? I've not played Alan Wake, hence why I'm not thinking. I've not even played the first Alan Wake. Maybe we should play him. But can it run Crisis? I don't know. I've heard Crisis is getting a new one. I've heard the rumors. Yeah, I need to maybe check out Alan Wake. I don't even know what it's about, so... That can't be the test bits. Yeah, but what I'm saying, Quahacks, what you're not thinking is your own statement there about saying Rockstar are milking money from average PC gamers. They will do another version of it, right? So, like, when it first releases this year, it'll have the version, then it'll do another version, right? They always do. It says that it's played on an unannounced Nvidia GPU card. Yeah, but that's not. But we don't know. We don't know specifically if The Witcher is going to be 2026 or 2027, right? We just got told at the Game Awards that it was something that's coming later down the line, right? We just don't know. I'm going to presume late 2026. The 5080 looks like a good card, though. I think the 5080 is the one to kind of look for. Especially if you're crazy gamer. Yeah, the 4090 would be brilliant for GTA and stuff. The thing is as well, I'm kind of curious because, like, they also said, like, DLS will never come to certain cards, but then they eventually did it. So I'm curious if they'll eventually put DLSS 4.0 on the 40 series cards. More than likely they will do. Because they said that about the 30 series cards in DLSS 3.0, right? I'm pretty sure. Or 2.0, can't remember which one it was. 2.0, right? Something like that. Question, did it Rockstar say at GTS site that it's only going to be released on consoles? Yeah. They're going to aim straight for consoles first, and then they'll aim for PC a year later. I'll be very surprised if they release PC and console at the same time. I feel like we're in that age now, you kind of need to release on PC at the same time as console. But they're doing it so, like, everybody will play it on console, and then buy it again for PC. It's double sales, right? I'm gonna wait for Gaming Nexus though for their tests. I don't really. What's crazy though is I don't really trust LTT's tests as of recently. It's just that they've had many tests over the last, this last year that have been way off. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking is just, that's why I think I'm just going to go to, I always go to Gaming Nexus first, usually.
Oh my god, is that a Twitch Prime?
So you unsubbed. A pay rise? Oh yeah. GG. GG. Pay rise is always nice. True. All job done? Thank you. I'm not going to do any more right now. I don't need to drop 1 meter. Where's the tempo? I just need to move the my gap over. Do no. Yeah, it is right, Chris. It's just like, just get this instant scrap from me, please. Hey, Phil. I should really... I've got the other sulfates coming, right? I've got the other sulfates coming as well. Didn't connect to the elevator? Sure. Doop, doop, doop. If you're only getting 720p, you don't have hardware acceleration on Chrome, or you're watching on Firefox. You're on Firefox? Yeah, that'll be right. Download the beta version of Firefox, and you should be fine. Fucking Mohawk. Make a sacrifice. Hey, Mike. know what would be nice right now? If I can unlock Mark 5 belts. And I have a plan to do so. Not Mark 5 belts, fucking Mark 3 minus. I don't know why I said Mark 5 belts. Mark 3 minus. Because all I really need is just to put 2 storage down, put the aluminium in there. I think it's going to be... Yeah. Yeah. I could get this done now. I think I'm going to do that, you know. I'm just going to sloop them and then put them in a storage. I think it's just going to be so much better. So I can pull that sulfur from here and get the 1,200. It'll obviously save me doing the sky bridge from over there. I think we do. But I think we're going to do that. What you need more 6 belts, the 1,200? Oh yeah, I will do, but it means I can at least go from 300 to 600. You know, I might as well just go and just put 2 storage down, grab my casings over from the aluminium plant, grab my heavy modular frames that's there, put them in 2 storage containers, and then connect it to this nitrogen gas right here. Just get 1 blender going. Just so I've got enough in the depot that if I do delete it, I've got room for it. You know? It's okay, Mobster. Hello. So what I'm thinking we do right now is we just get ourselves a blender. We're just going to throw you down here. I'm just going to grab 2 storage containers. I'm just going to throw you there. It's annoying me how that one's just a little bit off. Do 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 do. Throw that in there. Get you onto that. I'm doing pretty good, Just kind of cracking on, you know, just doing the things. Doing factory things. Just quickly going to make some fused modular frames without going too overboard on it. So I can get a handful in storage, so I can make some Mark III miners. Nice. For now, I'm just gonna grab just them. And them just for now. Oh, sugar. Just throw them in there. Just throw them in there. And we can get them going. Right, let's quickly go to my small aluminium plant. Hey, what up, Tag? How much of a numbers game this is, and how much time streamers have put into the showcase, what they could do lots of time. It is true. It is true. I think we're putting in 400 hours in this save now. I am going to sleep it in the I just don't have the sleeps on me right now. But I am going to sleep it. Saying that, I'm in kind of no rush to kind of sleep them, to be honest, as well, because I only need them for Mark 3 Madness, right? Oh yeah, I need to put the mod on. Hold on. There we go. Now you can see chat. There you go. Match of the day since lost accident? No. No, you're still good. Standard recipe playthrough? To be honest, I just want to get rid of, go through one playthrough. But I have, it's been, it has come to my mind, yeah, for sure. They don't get built. Da 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 da. Very fun. How are you, James? How are you? Not played the Resident Evil since like the early days. Corey, yep. It is indeed. I love the curves mod. Yeah, I said yesterday, I'm tempted to use the curves mod, but I still want to keep this playthrough full vanilla, you know? So power can go through train tracks, right? Is it the only way to get power off the track? Yeah. Yeah, you're going to put down a station that will output it. That's why I don't use the stations on my highway for my power. Oh, I should have got I don't need the sloops in the thing anymore, do I? Gaining major traction and might become a full release. Oh, really? That was the best one. He thought it was the cha-cha slide. Alert, not alerting. should be now. This song caused earthquakes at festivals. Redeems hydrate again. All right. Could you? Um. All right, let's go and unlock Mark 3 miners. Oh, I got 35. I just need to wait 2 minutes. Mark 3. Ugh. It'll help our production so much. Even though like the fuse modular frames are not going to be automated, we're still going to get like an abundance of them in storage just for miners. Because obviously we're not going to be using a crazy amount of miners. That we can just quickly keep them in there and keep it topped up. I need to check how many turbo motors we have right now, actually. Not turbo motors, radio control units. 54. Have a good one, Kaylee. They're doing base building design. Yep. I spend way too much time on detailing and stuff when I get a building complete. Dun, dun, dun. Just need one more. Cool beans. Let me just save there. Let me do that as 2011. I'm not a big fan of 7 days today. I tried it.
The Miner Mark III provides top-of-the-line resource extraction potential, making it even easier to contribute to project assembly. Project part number 8, the thermal propulsion rocket, is the most complex project part of this phase as it requires turbo motors, and thus requires your best. Fix it, didn't think pioneers such as you could get this far. I am glad we have both proven them wrong.
Yes. So at least we can put some miners down. At least. They only really need one on the sulfur. So I need 1,200 in total. So we're 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. I'm not making turbo motors anywhere, am I? Cooling units, I'm gonna need. Ooh, I need nitrogen. Boop. Bird is the word. Yeah, we're not making heat sinks anyway. It's a good job I'm not making that, like, the crazy rocket fuel I was going to make. Because it means the nitrogen gas we'll have over we can actually use for the cooling systems we can use for the fused modular frames automation. Enjoy your lunch, bird flu. Dragon has an early day and get up. A lot of work in kitchen next time. Have a good one, James. Have a good one, man. Sleep well. Do, do, do. Hey, Mystic. Hello, hello, hello. Okie dokie. Right, let's go and get this on the sulfur. And continue. Did I did 2011. Did I do 2012? Yeah, the refineries are down, yeah. They are indeed. Nice. Yeah, chill. Oh, did I've actually gone through them. I didn't realize I've gone through them all. Really? Boom. Boom, boom. Yeah, all the refineries are down. I've just done a fuse mod. Small little fuse modular frame. I need one more turbo motor though. I need one more turbo motor. Hey, Crazy Ozzy. Good evening. Good evening. Evening. Forgot these are normals, aren't they? 1,100 fuel. Is that for a power plant? Do 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 do. Oh, tonight's bloody Indiana Jones video. What an absolute spoon. It's just like spoon moments all the way fucking through the video. I get lost. I do stupid things. I get memed. Prepare face bombs, yep. Yep. Basically, let's say I'm shimmying across this big massive gap, right? In this tomb. I'm shimmying across this big massive. I'm doing it for about maybe 2 minutes. And then fucking Gina comes up behind me and goes, "Oh, what does this lever do?" And the lever literally closes the floor that I'm being, and I could have just walked across it. Fucking pushes a lever and he goes, "Oh, what's this do?" And I was there fucking, I'm like, what the hell? Yep. And plus there's a lot more. Hi, Mochi. Tick tock. Tick tick tock. What'd you do, the ghost digger? Never. Always the ghost digger. Really? Round, round. Hey, Cindy. Hola. Dun, 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 dun. Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. I'm gonna play some Helldivers soon. So I wanna play some Helldivers today. Wait, oh, they are Mark 4s. They should be Mark 5s, yeah. I don't know why I put Mark 4s. Even did these Mark IV? That will be because didn't change you in the hotbar. Been a while since you heard this song. Viva la fiesta, viva la noche. Boop, 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 boop. So we can see all the cool, amazing animation we'll get in about. Right, quick bio break, real quick. BRB. Hi. I have returned. All the trains? Oh yeah. The trains are my pride and joy in this whole save for sure. We learned a lot from season 2. Good night, Mix. Da, 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 da. Bitz, why was it you said you don't take power off the trains? It's because I like to keep it more organized. You see how I've got the power towers on the lines over there? I've got them all going down the highway. So I have them bringing off the power from underneath the track instead of the trains. So it allows me to then, if I want to, for example, build this extension here like I needed to, right? And let's say a train wasn't coming in here. I could just pull the power off the tower instead of me placing down a train station here to pull off the tower, pull off the power. You know? I just got one more, don't I? Yeah. Do 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 do. Traitor. Oakley diddly dokey. One, two, 1, 2, 3. Huh? Oh, chat, I can smell my food. I've had I made a chicken curry and coconut soup. It's slow cooking at the minute. But it should be done pretty soon, to be fair. And I've got some bread rolls. That was delish. Yeah. It's gonna be delish. Hey, Savine. Hello. Oh yeah, on YouTube they don't have the music, do they? So it's just me going, ho ho ho! For fuck's sake. Should have gone. Hey, good. Face by sticker. Yummy. How you doing, good? I'll do it. Wall pipe entries exist, still issues with fluid. I still don't use them, Plex, because it's like a hit and miss with them. I just don't trust them. Because I've done it in the past where I'm like, okay, maybe they're fine. Next thing you know, they're not. I just don't trust them. A few days ago for fluids. Easy. Good morning, I think. Do. What date is it tomorrow? The 8th. The 8th. Oh, what a spoon I am. Did. No. Force physics for aesthetics. Right. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. You're wrong. Bugs. We're playing Helldivers soon. TM. Looks to me like you're playing it now with the bugs. Soon, TM. Hey, Octesis. You have to get ready to leave. Oh, yeah, you're in work today, aren't you? Physically. If there was going to be a Satisfactory movie, who would play the Pioneer? Me. Me. If they can have Jack Black in Minecraft, they can have me in this. You have the tits for it? Freaking damn right I do. Yeah, total for Ada. We'll have Kibbs as a rummy boy. This is not on the grid, is it? That I made. La 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 la. I smell. Actually, let me go and check my food chat. Let me go on. Am I safe here? Let me go. Let me put you on a train real quick. Let's put you on pink train. All right, BRB chat. Alright, chat. I am back and I've got soup. I have my soup. I'm not gonna lie, it smells fucking insane. And it looks so good. No, I've made a curry and coconut soup. Some potatoes in here. Perfect for the cold weather. But I got soup. Right, what do we want to watch? Ooh! Never mind, I found something.
Early in the 20th century, an American biscuit company introduced a cookie sandwich. It was 2 chocolate cookies with rich vanilla icing at the center. This sandwich cookie created an instant sensation, and almost a century later, it hasn't lost its appeal. People still crave this sugary fusion of crunch and cream.
Oreos!
The sandwich cookie in milk is a tasty tradition, and whoever started it must have been one smart cookie. Sandwich cookies start with pure granulated sugar. This worker heaps bags of it into a mixer as he prepares to whip up the batter for the wafers. He adds 2 kinds of cocoa. The combination will give the wafers the desired taste and color. A premix of salt and other ingredients follows. A specially formulated canola oil mixture will transform these dry ingredients into a batter as huge beaters blend everything together. They add water, and the batter starts to look like a bubbling chocolate soup. They add dry ice, which chills the batter as it evaporates. The lower temperature is key, as they add flour to thicken the batter into a dough. The dough will turn out less crumbly than it would have been if it had been kept at room temperature. A premix of leavening ingredients goes in next. One final mix, and this chocolate dough is ready to go. The worker shovels it onto a grate,
science lab,
which protects his fingers as he presses the dough down into a molding machine. This machine shapes the dough into cookie wafers while pressing intricate designs and the brand name onto them. It churns out an impressive 5,000 chocolate wafers an hour. The freshly molded cookie wafers now move from the silicon conveyor to a steel one. It takes the wafers into a gas oven, where they travel in a continuous loop for several minutes to receive an even baking. After that, fans cool the wafers to the desired crispiness.
Literally big fans. I wasn't expecting, like, big household fans to cool it. You know what I mean?
The chocolate wafers then move to another conveyor, which feeds into a series of chutes. Then the wafers travel over ramps designed to make them fall into a certain position. One row lands plain side up, and the next lands with the embossed side up. This correctly orients them to be sandwiched around a cream filling.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it.
It's a high-speed operation as a cylindrical pump deposits the vanilla cream on the
Evil
plain
went
side of the
AFK.
wafers.
Yeah, I was waiting on Evil to go, I'll cream you or something.
The cream-coated wafers head over to the next station. Here, machinery moves the top wafers onto the cream-coated ones. The cookies move up for the count. Mechanical fingers separate them into bunches of 11. Then, grippers swing into action to move each little bunch forward. They release the cookies neatly into plastic trays.
Yo, that had one missing. That had one
Each
missing.
little bunch forward. They release the cookies neatly into plastic trays.
Scammed.
The trays, full of sandwich cookies, move on to the wrapping station. Here, metallic film unwinds and wraps around the trays. Hot jaws move in to seal the package at both ends. Finally, they're shipped to retailers. But once these sandwich cookies are in the pantry, it might be tough to keep them under wraps. There's nothing kids love more than candies they can pull and stretch, which probably explains why gummy candies and licorice have always been stick-to-your-teeth favorites, except with parents who don't have a family dental plan. Everyone calls this red licorice, but there's actually no licorice root in it. The ingredients are wheat, sugar, and corn syrup, with red food dye in both artificial and natural strawberry flavoring. They cook the mixture for 2 hours at 216 degrees. This slowly forms a thick paste.
I swear I've seen a janitor at school with one of these,
Slowly forms a
one of these little,
thick paste.
these brushes. One of them little machines going down, you know. We've all seen them. You know,
They cool
buffering
it
out the
down,
floors.
Then put it through extruders. The extruders work like icing nozzles, shaping the paste into a design such as the twirls we see here. A water-lubricated knife slices the continuous strips into 7 and 8 inch lengths. The water also rinses off any licorice buildup on the blade.
What's with this music?
The cut licorice goes on aluminum trays. The stacks of trays then go into an oven to dry for 8 hours at 140 degrees. As the excess moisture evaporates, the licorice shrivels. Workers weigh the correct amount of licorice for each package. To make gummy candies, they use what are called printing boards, large sheets with raised shapes. To make gummy worms, for example, they mount the gummy worm board on a stamping machine. The machine then stamps the worm shapes onto trays of cornstarch. This creates a series of cornstarch molds for the gummy worms.
Was that just to ruin people's OCD or something? What was that about? Why did he just stick his finger in that? What?
While that's going on, another machine mixes gelatin, sugar, corn syrup, color, and flavoring, and cooks the mixture at 240 degrees. A machine called the depositor pours the mixture into the cornstarch worm molds. The molds then go into a refrigerated room. In 12 to 15 hours, the candies cool and solidify. A machine then flips the candies out of the trays. The cornstarch molds disintegrate. As they fall downward, the machine sifts out the lumps, then recycles the used cornstarch into new cornstarch trays for the next batch. The candies go through a cleaner. As they spin, air nozzles blast off the cornstarch. The next drum coats the candies with mineral oil to make them shiny. Children love gummy worms because they're gooey and slippery and wiggly. But it's not just kids who are hooked on them. Many fishermen actually use them for bait.
Gummy worms? For fishermen?
Before packaging the candies, the workers weed out any that are stretched out or stuck together. Wonder if they get to eat the rejects. The next time you bite into a marshmallow cookie, you can thank the ancient Egyptians. They invented marshmallow candy by thickening honey with sap from the root of the
What are these panning shots? What are these panning shots?
marshmallow plant, a herb that grows in salt marshes and along large bodies of water. Modern marshmallow contains gelatin instead of sap from the mallow root.
Marshmallow.
The snap test, to make sure the coating is hard and thick enough. Then the taste test. If you've got a sweet tooth, doing quality control in the marshmallow cookie factory is your dream job. To make a batch of dough for the cookie base, they mix wheat flour, salt, baking soda and powder, cornstarch, whey powder, and potassium sorbate. Then they add several liquid ingredients. This one causes a chemical reaction, making the biscuit lighter. This cream-colored liquid is vegetable oil shortening. This transparent liquid is glucose fructose, a sweetener. The ingredient proportions are also a company secret. From the mixer, the dough goes into a machine called the chipper. It shreds the big blob into pieces about the size of the cap on a highlighter pen. This makes the dough more manageable for the next machine, called a rotary mold. Inside that machine, a large roller flattens the dough pieces, forming them into a dense sheet about a ½ inch thick. It then presses this sheet against another roller whose surface is a cookie mold. The factory uses the rotary mold machine for many different types of cookies. It simply installs the appropriate roller for the cookie in production. For marshmallow cookie bases, the mold cavities are round. The bases exit the rotary mold and make their way onto a moving baking sheet. That transports them to an oven. The baking time and temperature are once again top secret. The baked cookie bases exit the oven and move onto a conveyor belt that transports them to a cooling area. Once they cool to room temperature, the bases go into a machine called the base feeder. It lines them up like marching soldiers to receive their marshmallow filling and chocolate coating. The process does require military precision. Factory technicians have to adjust this machine daily to ensure accuracy to a 32nd of an inch. A portion of filling has to land perfectly centered on each base, finishing off in a curled peak, this brand's trademark. The company won't divulge how much marshmallow filling goes into each cookie, nor will it reveal its marshmallow recipe. But marshmallow is usually made from either corn syrup or sugar and gelatin. And now for the final layer, the chocolate coating. Not only are the marshmallow and base covered in hot melted chocolate, the base floats in it, which coats the underside as well. Built-in air jets blow off the excess. The chocolate hardens inside a cooling tunnel. How long that takes and the tunnel temperature are, you guessed it, classified information. As the cookies exit the cooling tunnel, a quality control worker does spot checks to ensure the coating is thorough, hard enough, and thick enough. On the packaging line, the cookies go into plastic trays. To keep up to speed, the workers have to grab 4 cookies in each hand without breaking the coating. The trays pass through a machine that wraps them in plastic film. This keeps the cookies fresh and also prevents them from falling out of the tray. Meanwhile, another machine assembles the boxes, first folding and gluing one end shut. Once workers load the trays, the machine glues the open end closed as well. Then, with the go-ahead from quality control, the box's next stop is the cookie aisle of your local supermarket. Croissant is the French word for crescent. This flaky curved roll is generally associated with France, even though many food historians believe its origins are Austrian. Regardless of where it came from, the croissant is a popular breakfast pastry in many parts of the world. Plain, with jam, or dipped in a cup of coffee, there's nothing like the light, flaky texture and buttery flavor of a croissant. This commercial bakery makes its croissants with soft spread margarine in lieu of butter. The other ingredients are yeast, very cold water, because warm water would trigger the yeast to react prematurely, sugar.
So that's what happened in 2007 when I was in a hot tub. Got it. I prematured. That's why. That explains everything.
A touch of salt, and white all-purpose flour. All the ingredients go inside an industrial mixer for 10 minutes. First at slow speed to blend everything.
Yes, so it was either me or her and I had a yeast infection.
Next, the sticky elastic dough enters the multi-roller machine. As an automated dispenser lightly dusts the dough with flour to prevent it from sticking to the equipment, a series of 16 rollers progressively flattens the dough into a thinner and thinner sheet. The next process, lamination, is what creates the croissant's flaky layers. The first station on this line extrudes 44-pound blocks of margarine into a 2/10 of an inch thin sheet.
What the hell?
The next station lays the margarine sheet on top of the thin dough sheet, then folds the ends of the dough upward, enveloping the margarine. Then rollers compress the overlapped dough ends to seal the margarine inside and flatten the whole thing down to about 4/10 of an inch thick. The next station repeatedly folds the dough over itself. Then, with rollers again, presses the layers into a thin sheet. This laminating cycle repeats over and over again until each dough block coming off the line comprises 243 layers. Plastic wrap keeps the dough moist, as it now undergoes 8 hours of refrigeration.
Yeah, moist.
The cold rehardens the by now softened margarine and lessens the dough's elasticity. The dough is now ready for the automated machine that forms the croissants. The first rollers progressively flatten the connected blocks into a thin sheet. Then another roller runs over the dough horizontally to expand the sheet to the required width. Next, cutters divide the sheet into 7 thin bands, each one 4 inches wide. Then a roller surfaced in triangular blades cuts each band of dough into triangles. A robot
Is
separates
YouTube
the
down?
triangles and turns them all in the same direction, with the flat side forward. A stopper running the width of the conveyor belt aligns the triangles in straight rows.
YouTube down?